Hi family, it is Auntie here, and today we are reading this book. This book is called Santa in the City, and it was written by Tiffany D. Jackson, and the pictures were drawn by Reggie Brown. Let's take a look at what this book is all about. Every year, Deja counted down the days, hours, minutes, and seconds until Christmas. But some kids at school didn't believe in Santa like she did. If there's a Santa, how does he get into your apartment when there's no chimney? Deshawn asked. That sleigh can't fit nowhere, and reindeer definitely can't fly. And no one can live up at the North Pole, Carmen said. Face it, Deja, there is no Santa. Even if there was, he'd never visit us in the city. That night, Mommy found Deja crying in her room. What's wrong, Deja? Mommy, tell me the truth. Is there really a Santa Claus? Of course there is, baby girl. But how does Santa get in our house if we don't have a chimney? Mommy smiled. Deja, magic always finds a way. Come, let me show you. What Mama about to show her? She took Deja down to the first floor where Mr. Clark was painting the front door. She pointed to the big keychain hanging off of his tool belt. Santa's got a special keychain just like Mr. Clark. His key is magic and opens up all the apartments in the entire world. Oh, Deja said. Makes sense. Okay, but where does he park his sleigh? There's no parking spots on our block at night, and ain't none of them big enough for a reindeer. Mommy laughed. He parks on the roof, just like he does at everybody else's house. She took Deja by the hand and led her up to the top floor, pointing to the roof door. See, Mommy said, Santa comes in through there. She showed Deja where Santa parks his sleigh and the pigeon feeder Mr. Clark used to give reindeer a snack. Oh, Deja said. Makes sense. Satisfied, Deja took the stairs back down to her apartment. As Mommy tucked her into bed and read her favorite Christmas book, Deja smiled. Deshawn and Carmen were wrong. Santa did come to their city. But the next morning, as Deja left for a day of Christmas shopping, she couldn't help but notice how different her neighborhood looked from the ones in her book. The building on her block didn't seem ready for Christmas. She tugged on Mommy's coat. If we can't decorate our building, how will Santa find us? The mayor puts up extra special lights all around the neighborhood, Mommy said, and we always put lights in our windows so Santa won't miss us. Oh, said Deja. Makes sense. But as soon as they walked into their corner bodega, another question popped in Deja's head, and then another, and another. She almost didn't hear Mr. Ortiz say her breakfast sandwich was ready. Hey, little mommy, what's on your mind? Mr. Ortiz asked. Mr. Ortiz, can reindeer really fly? See, Mommy, they're just like chickens. They can fly short distances, hopping from block to block till they reach ours. Oh, Deja said. Makes sense. But even later that afternoon, as Deja and Mama finished their shopping, her head was still so full of questions. She thought she might burst. She pointed to Santaland and asked, okay, how can Santa be at King's Plaza, at Macy's, and up at the North Pole, making all our presents at the same time? It's a valid question. Well, those men are special elves, representing Santa. They listen to the wishes of all the little kids around the world and then report back to the big boss, Saint Nick. Oh, said Deja. Makes sense. The next day was Christmas Eve, And Deja's entire family gathered at her auntie's house, where they had a big feast. She played games with her cousins and danced with her uncles like she did every year. But it was hard to enjoy herself like she used to. She still had so many questions about Santa. And luckily, there were lots of people to ask. "Uncle Rodney, how can Santa live up at the North Pole? It's really cold up there," Deja asked. "Well, Santa works in tunnels and underground, just like the subway where it's much warmer. Plus, he drinks a lot of hot cocoa." "Oh," Deja said. "Makes sense. Do you like hot chocolate?" "I love hot chocolate, especially with marshmallows on top. Delicious." "What about when we visit Grandma and Pop in Jamaica? They're in a whole other country. How do they find us there?" "Oh, that's easy," her Aunt Casey said. "Your mommy will send him a postcard to tell him where we'll all be." "Oh," Deja said. "Makes sense." Back at home, Deja left milk and cookies for Santa, but her head still swirled with questions. Like, where do other kids put their stockings if they don't have a fireplace? Or how does Santa make it to all their cities in one night? Or has he ever delivered to the wrong house like the mailman does sometimes? "Doesn't Santa's tummy hurt after eating all those cookies everyone left him?" she asked Mommy. "Santa doesn't eat all the cookies," Mommy said. "He eats some, but has a magic sack where he puts the rest so he can share with the elves when he gets back to the North Pole. I've even packed them up for him." "You mean you've met Santa?" "What?" "Yep. He asks grown-ups to help since he has lots of stops to make in one night." "Oh," she said. That gave Deja an idea. After Mommy tucked her into bed, Deja pretended to go to sleep because there was only one person who could answer all of her questions: Santa himself. She didn't hear Santa park his sleigh on the roof, or see him come down the steps, or use his magic key to open the door, or leave out the toy she asked the special elves for. But when she woke up, she found something better than any toy, a special message from Santa just for her, letting her know once and for all, magic really does find a way. Santa was real, and he had no problem coming to her city. The end. Oh, that was so sweet. Love that story. Thank you so much for coming to story time with me today. I hope you have a merry, merry holiday season. Merry Christmas, happy holidays from Auntie to you. Love you. See you next time.